In July 2021, what is quite possibly the best Cyberman story in any medium dropped. Big Finish gave us the audio novel Scourge of the Cybermen. They're first in this new range of, well, audiobooks that they've done, and they are chunky ones, aren't they? We've had 7 of them now, and it's amazing looking back, thinking when we had that initial announcement, thinking, oh, those later ones feel so far off, but now they've been and gone. This release is 3 years old, and I still love it to bits.
This, like you say, it is the best Cyberman story in any medium. It beats your spare parts. It beats your Silver Turk. It beats your Tomb of the Cybermen, the invasion. This is what a Cyberman story is. And the format of it being an audiobook really can explore the prose and the horrors of Cybermen with the characters in a fort, the sort of detailing of the scarred and damaged Cybermen with sort of the rust and sort of seeing the human remains. It really enhances the true force of the Cybermen, really.
Yeah, it's amazingly written by Simon Gurrier, going into that body horror angle on them. But also, I think why it works so well with the Cybermen is that they are scavengers in this. They are at their most vulnerable, and that also makes them at their deadliest. It's set on this undersea base on this ocean world. You know, you've got these colonists here who are sort of split into different factions of sorts. I mean, you've got the elite security side of things, and then you've got your regular civilians.
Like Science
And
Core as well.
yeah, and some people know more than others. Like you got different coloured dungarees denoting different
Which feels
uh,
very 70s. I
groups
love
as
it.
well. Yeah, and I think it's a beautifully built up world. You've got the upper side, the concourse and stuff set up here where people are shopping. It's very expansive. You know, it's
Yes.
more than they could have done on a 70s budget. And
Well, yeah,
at the same,
especially when you get towards the end with like the submarine attacks
yeah,
and Cybermen attacking the Third Doctor as everything's going wrong for him in this little submarine thing. Yeah, amazing.
yeah. You've also got the dark underbelly of the place where the lighting's flickering a lot more. The sound design is gorgeous here. I believe it's Steve Foxon. I
Yes,
will,
it is.
yeah, and yeah, that is incredible stuff. I mean, the way Jon Culshaw reads the prose, well, just sends chills down my spine. He does I mean, of course, he does an amazing Third Doctor. That's what you expect. He does a great job with the other characters as well.
They've got
He
their own
did,
distinct voices, which I think is what you need when you have something what is 7 hours long. You need
mm,
somebody who is a good reader who can give these characters distinct voices so you're engaged, you know where you're at with these
yeah.
people.
You're not going to get bored of his voice.
No, no, no.
Like,
I mean, Box of Terrors, that's 9 hours. That's Jon Culshaw again, and he does a sublime job.
yeah, he's also does surprisingly a wonderful Sarah Jane, which, you know, you can tell it's not a like dead ringer for Elizabeth Slater by any, but he really does capture that character.
It's the intonations on the inflections on certain words and how she would say and deliver dialogue.
Yeah, you just sort of get used to it really, and it just works. And I mean, it's amazing. I think, yeah, Jon Culshaw, such an amazing voice, so much range within it. I just could listen to him for hours and have done with this.
Yeah. I just think like we're saying with the Cybermen, how they're there patiently waiting, and the way Jon Culshaw delivers the sunflower field bits, the sort
Yeah.
of the oil in the water and sort of the reflections, how you can find beauty, but also horror in such simple things. You know, the sunflower being sort of a flower that sort of represents sort of death in a way. And you've got Cybermen there who are sort of a reflection on a very different kind of death. Question is it
A
actually
living
life?
death, really, isn't
Yes,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's beautifully done and how the Cybermen get built up because Simon Gurry is very good at writing 60s style stories, and this is the third Doctor and Sarah in a 1960s style story. It has sort of a nice sort of Jerry Anderson feel to it in a way as well.
Mm.
When you get to sort of the hovercraft bits, but it's
There's
a
a slow build, isn't there? Especially when it comes to the Cybermen.
and that's this is the wonderful thing. It's a story that becomes more and more claustrophobic, and things are getting more. Um, it's just becoming more of a disaster, and things are closing in. And
Mm.
it's a story where you genuinely think the third Doctor and Sarah aren't going to make it out because the third Doctor gets radiation poisoning. And you know where these characters end up, but you are totally immersed in this is the end of
Mm.
where these characters are because of just how dire things are getting within this base.
I think that's the mark of a truly incredible story, where you are that engrossed in it that even though you know in your heads things are all going to work out, there's part of you in your heart that gets that sinking feeling as well. It's like, I really don't know how they're going to get out of this. I don't know how this is going to have a happy ending, which I think is incredible to be able to have that experience with these characters who have gone on so far since their beginnings in the 70s. This going right back to the early days of Sarah Jane.
I mean,
It's
it's
truly
very
incredible.
much told from Sarah's perspective. Like the first half an hour, it is very much Sarah using her initiative, investigating what is going on this base, and then that sort
She's the
of
driving force.
yeah, she is the sort of catalyst of going what is going on here, and then that involves the Doctor, and then that opens the story up way more.
Hmm. Yeah, it's honestly such an incredible listen. If you've not picked this one up, I highly, highly recommend you do.
Because the
I mean,
beauty with these audio novels is their audiobooks, so they're very easy to follow. So you can dip in and out. You don't have to constantly be listening to them. But if you fancy listening to something else in between, you can do that. You can pick up on it very easily because
you could put it down for a while and then
yeah,
come back to it and still be just engaged.
because I think that's a wonderful thing. Because if you see 7 hours, that's quite a scary prospect.
I think
And
especially when it is just that one reader,
yes,
but you're in good hands here.
because I think part three is like an hour and 36 minutes. So
Something like that.
it's a chunky part. And you think, my God, I'm not going to get through this. So it will take a few sittings, but you'll be so rewarded when you get towards the latter end of the story. Because, again, the prose, how does action work in prose? It just does.
Yeah, it's incredible the way the sound design mixes in. It's truly a marvel, this release. And I think it's a strong flagship for the audio novel range as a whole.
Yeah, because I think this led us to pick up a few more. Because I think we've picked up pretty much nearly all of the releases in the catalogue that have been released so far.
Yeah, I've got a good few. I have got Box of Terrors, but not listened to it yet.
Mm.
I know you're very much pushing me to listen to that, and I will do one day. Similarly, I've got the Dead Star, and you've got the Dead Star, but you've not listened to it, and I have. Looking back to July 2021 when this came out, because otherwise it was a Lady Cassandra, Dark Universe was big thing, but even then that's just, the one 3-disc box set. And other than that, with no, this is the gap between the monthly range and the relaunch. And
the
so,
new series Doctors.
Yeah.
And if you want your Lady Christina, yeah, go for it. But I think most people have probably passed on it.
Yeah, and I think that allowed Scourge to shine, really. The fact that it was a bit of a quieter month, Big Finish, particularly compared to when you look at this July, how much we've got coming out right now with novel adaptations, lost stories galore. But yeah, it's wonderful to look back at where the audio novels kind of began. I mean, you did have Terror of the Master as well,
which is a proto.
Yeah, it's almost an audio novella, I like to think, because
Yes.
it's half the length and it's now available separately. It's an Third Doctor one, read by Jon Culshaw. And I think it's worth picking up if you're on the fence about the audio novels because, it's cheaper, it's half the length. It gives you a taste of what these are like, particularly if you've only done audio drama with Big Finish. You've not done an audiobook yet, which was how we went into these, really.
Yeah.
I think it's a good place to test the water, then go for Scourge. And yeah, I don't think you'll regret it. It's brilliant.
No, it's the imagery is just so evocative of like the light on the Cyberman head just glistening in the water and reflect, yeah, in the murky water. Yeah, it's so brilliant.
Yeah, I remember I was just on a walk one holiday. I can't remember whether it was 22 or 21, but that summer I walked through a field of sunflowers. Sent you a picture, big. Oh, I'm getting Scourge the Cybermen vibes here.
Yeah, it's a wonderful release. And like we
Stuck
said,
with us. It really
it's
has.
like 3 years on, and this is all from memory. We've not re-listened to it just to do this video. It just shows how this release has sort of stayed with us. And it is for us the best Sideman story, and I think that's the highest praise I can give it.
Yeah, it truly is. Because things like the invasion and Tomb of the Cybermen, they're always going to have that element of nostalgia on their side. But I think this truly does top them. It has that same sort of vibe, but with so much more substance than was possible in the 60s, I suppose. Yeah, it goes to some darker places than perhaps TV Doctor Who could do as well. Not to the extent it's unsuitable for younger listeners. It's not a Torchwood level. It's not going into the, Virgin New Adventures territory. But it just does have that darker edge to it. That I think it's something that novels in general are able to get away
prose
with.
can do it because it can light the imagination up. Whereas I guess in an audio, it's all laid out there in front of you with the sound design. I guess because of the descriptive language, you really get sort of the visceral reactions and feelings to it. I guess with it.
Yeah.
And I guess with Quintessence coming out, maybe it's time to revisit it in preparation for another third Doctor Sideman story.
Yeah, that could be a good shout there.
Yeah.
I mean, just talking about it now just makes me want to dive back into it again. I mean, hopefully we're having the same effect on you, whether you've listened to it before or you haven't. Let us know your thoughts below. And let us know what your favourite Cyberman story of all time is.
Yeah.
Is it Scourge? Are we right? Are we wrong? Feel free to share your opinion down below.
But for now, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.